feel holistically like a better woman because of him. I really do. I think it's like the way that he loves me and speaks life into me. It just adds more to the layer of my confidence that I already have. He just puts this extra boost of wind behind it that it's like when I'm walking, it's like a soundtrack is playing like, doom,
Come on, wind beneath my wings.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. Ciara is aging. Look, ladies, as you guys age, it's wise to cover up more. See what I'm saying? Because after a while, y'all will start looking bad. See, when a woman is older and she's still trying to sexualize herself, it looks like an expired product. You see what I'm saying? It's like, yo, your time is up. You are not youthful anymore. It's time to have some grace about yourself, because in life, you should want to age gracefully, because we are going to age. That's the bottom line. But when a woman is aging, but she still got that bird energy in her, where she still tries to sexualize herself, even though her body is depreciated. That's the first thing I thought, like, when I saw this. It's like, yo, cover that up, baby girl.
That's it. Yeah.
Yes.
You made me feel that way. But yeah, no, I do. I feel like a boost of confidence. Like there's nothing better than the support that he gives me. Um, it's a safe feeling, right?
Yes.
Because in my world, I run my world. Obviously, I'm mom. I'm all these things. But sometimes you feel vulnerable, even though you're the toughest person you have to be. But when I have that in my mind, it brings me peace that he's there for me. I do think that I've tried because I'm a little bit of a goofy girl sometimes.
Me too.
But you level up the sexy a little bit, so
Ooh.
he's sitting beside me, so I think
It's so funny to hear Scorpios say that. You're a Scorpio,
yeah,
right?
I am.
Yeah,
Scorpio,
exactly.
yes.
Because Scorpios are always so sexy.
Oh my gosh, but I'm like a goofy too, so I gotta, you guys see me do the music videos and stuff, and I got okay. At home, I'd be like, I'm just a goofy girl sometimes. I think so. He kind of like I will say has made me evolve, like in that
Oh my
area. But I just feel like I'm constantly seeking ways to get better, like holistically. Like I was even thinking to myself, like, okay, yes, is the way he pours into me is important to me, but and I have not said this to you, but this is I'm just saying to the world, but to you, is like I think about life. Like life goes by so fast. And I hope that like when he looks back at life, his life as a man, that he's like, she showed up for me, like she loved me down, the right way. Like I want him to have like the best memories as possible. So I say that in my mind as well. Like you have a desire to want to just be your best. You may fall short, sometimes I do know that, but my heart is there and the passion is there for it to be like I hope that when he looks back at his life and what I brought to the table, that like I was bringing that thing, So like, but
Yes.
his love, how he loves me, makes me want to do that even more. I already want.
Yo, I swear, this should be saying a bunch of nothing. See, the thing about Ciara is she got a sucker, right? And when a woman got a sucker, it allows her to be liberated. It allows her to feel comfortable being a slut. That's the bottom line. That's why she sounds like that. Because even though she got a husband, she could still sexualize herself. She can still twerk. So in her mind, she's trying to urge other women. It's like, yo, look at me, I did it. And the thing about a bird is this, fellas. Bird always align themselves with other birds. You have to pay attention to who your girl aligns herself with. Notice she aligns herself with Kiki Palmer. Why you think that is? Because they are both birds and they relate to each other. They both found suckers. Kiki Palmer, her baby father, is also a sucker as well. And Ciara, after having future baby, she found him to raise that baby, Russell Wilson.
To love, but yeah.
Yeah, I think that First of all, I love that. I think
It's
big
beautiful.
piece of it is kind of what your dad was saying is they make you a better person. You know, what's crazy is that I was married before, you know, and I'm single.
Yeah.
I had a whole plan.
Oh God.
What was your plan?
Man, my plan was good. It was a great plan. I was like, I'm 23, 24. I'm 24 years old, whatever it is. I'm just won a Super Bowl. I'm gonna be single for about 10 years.
Oh,
I got a whole, I'm gonna meet some friends along the way.
Listen to his story. He won a Super Bowl. He was 23, 24. Young man. Young man. After winning a Super Bowl, he ran into a bird. And that was the end of his story.
And then you're gonna marry your best friend, that whole thing.
Yeah.
I'll be 10 years from, and sure enough, about a year and a half into my plan, I meet her, and I knew exactly when I met her, she was the one. And I think a big part of it was
What? Wait
yeah,
a minute,
the
Russell.
minute I
How
met
you
her.
saying that? What was it? Because people don't believe that. What you just talked
Yeah.
about was like pretty much a
Yeah,
version
well,
of love at first sight. How?
It really was. A couple things had happened. One, I had actually told somebody I knew before. I was like, somebody asked me, "Who do you see yourself with?" And I was like, I don't know. And I was like, Ciara. They were like, she ain't gonna like you. I said, why? He said, I don't think she's gonna like you. I said, she ain't met me yet.
Okay.
That was the first.
Mind you, this whole time, Ciara was having a fun with Future, to the point where Future and her had a baby. So we talking about, this is Ciara maybe 2 months after having a kid. Strange, bro.
She don't like me. She don't know me.
That was the first thing.
So
Then
crazy.
fast forward, I'm kind of seeing some people. I'm just chilling, whatever, 10-year window, and so then fast forward. What happens is I go to church one day on a Sunday. Sunday night, I go to dinner with my pastor. We're sitting there talking. I said, "Man, I need to write my 5 non-negotiables." He said, "5 non-negotiables." He said, "You said negotiables in your sermon." I said, "You weren't talking about this, but I believe in marriage. Like I said earlier, marriage is a business deal. It's life. It's partnership. It's this, that, and the other." I said, "I need to write my 5 non-negotiables. What I want a woman. Number one is I want a woman of faith, right? Who believe in God. This and that. I want a woman who is faithful, not just to me, but to everything she does. When her yes is yes, her no is no. I want a woman who was independent. Didn't have to be Ciara, but somebody had their own identity and wasn't just Russell's wife. I wanted somebody that was also someone who was similar to my mom. Yeah, my mom was." When my mom was helping my dad when he was on his deathbed, my dad used to always say, you're always going to be good because you're mama. And then I wanted somebody that would tilt the room. When they walk in the room, that their whole room changes.
Okay, and that's true. I
Yeah.
heard.
Yeah. So those 5 things,
Yeah.
so those 5 things I wrote down, prayed over. We prayed over that night. He said, "Why 5?" I said, "5 is the number of grace." I said, "Marriage and life is about grace."
Yes,
So we wrote 5 of them down. And 3 days later, I meet Caesar the first time. And so we meet each other. Fast forward, like the moment I met her, what was interesting is Future was about 9 months or so, and it was just a bond right from the beginning. And I told her, I said, no matter if you and I ever end up together, I'm gonna make sure I look out for a little man and help whatever way you need.
What? Don't you all think that's weird? This is why I tell you all dudes, man, simps are the most dangerous people on earth. Now, it's all good when a woman finds a simp and she's taking advantage of him. Of course, it's all good. Let me get on a podcast. Let me tell the world. But the thing about a simp is this, man. Everybody got a breaking point. And when a simp snaps, all hell break loose. Now think about it, right? What type of man meets a woman? Okay, this is Ciara. That's Future's baby. What type of man meets a 5-month-old baby who probably can't even speak and say, regardless of what, I'm always going to be there for that child, knowing the child got a father? The child got a whole father. But because mommy made the decision to have a baby with Future, and Future just want to be Future. I'm a player. This is the type of time I'm on. I'm not trying to marry you. And because a bird didn't get her way, what she did was take that man's child and find a sucker and make a sucker step up and be a father to that child. How is that even cool? This shit is crazy, bro. This shit is so weird. But of course, you know, nobody's saying how weird this shit is. Everybody's like, oh, Ciara, because Ciara have this way about herself where she tries to come off nice. It's a manipulation tactic that she uses. Look, man. When you look at Ciara, bro, everything about her is fake, bro. She's just a woman who is clout chasing. Understand that. She ain't had a fucking hit record in how many years? She found Russell Wilson. He won a championship. So what she did was latch on to his success and use that shit to stay relevant, bro. That shit is nasty. And it's sad because what she did was prey on the weak. She knew he was a sucker. She knew he wanted to be in the mix. And he was desperate. And she used that against him. Well, shit, he just won a championship, a Super Bowl. Shit, he got a name. I could stand next to him and be relevant. And that's exactly what she did. She stood next to this man and became the main character. She damn near killed his career because he's retired now. Sad, bro. The price of wife and a bird.
But I knew it was gonna be like something real. And so, I mean, I think what's amazing, going back to the question though of like, how do you know? I think life is a journey, right? You meet people along the way, you go through relationships, situations, this and that. And I think it's all formulation of the imperfect ingredients of what God desires for you. And I think that ultimately we experience life situations, people, this and that. And at some point we realize, okay, well, God, what do you really have for me? And I think that, you know, in our situation, like, you know, being a stepdad to Future, and really, you know, that's the greatest love to me. You talking about fatherhood earlier, like to me, right? Like to be able to raise a son as if he's your, you know, he's your own blood is the greatest gift. And to me, that's how I've always looked at how God's relationship with Jesus was, and Jesus to Mary. So like to me, like that's always been significant to me of how we're intended to love as dads, and none of us are perfect in that sense, but just knowing that like God loves us that much. And so how do I love my kids, and not just Future, but you know, Win and Sienna and Amora. And so I think that's a big piece of it for me too, is being able to share that, you know, as family. And I think, like I said, I think love's a journey. You know, it's.
Yo, Shorty said, God bless you. The nerve of these birds, bro. The nerve. Kiki Palmer, her guy, she had a kid with some dude. Then right after that, she went to an Usher concert and sexualized herself. The same woman who is, oh man, oh my God, love, God bless you. But this is the same woman who will do some bird shit. See, the thing about wife and a bird, fellas, you're not going to stop a bird from sexualizing herself. Because birds love attention. If a bird doesn't get attention, she can't function. If Ciara is not able to sexualize herself, she can't function in the relationship with a Russell Wilson. But on the flip side, Ciara, when she was with Future, she never sexualized herself. She was moving very conservative, right? But she wanted Future to marry her because you'll have to understand the objective of a bird. A bird wants to find a player and turn that player into a sucker. She wants to domesticate that player. So when she met Future, she was dressing appropriate, doing the right things in hopes of him marrying her. Understand that. It's all a game with a bird. So then when the future refused to marry her, she left him and found a sucker. Now, for a bird to function with a sucker, she have to feel free as a bird. She have to be able to sexualize herself. That's why it worked. This is how bird treats suckers. They will get with a sucker, but they're gonna be popping their box. They will be sexualizing themselves. But if a bird gets with a player, her objective is to turn that player into a sucker. So you see how that works? And Kiki Palmer, bro. The fact that she's, oh my god, a sucker will see this shit and start thinking like, damn, Shorty's a good girl. I'm a good guy. This is what she wants. She wants a guy like me. Only to get with a chick like her and watch her reveal who she is and start to sexualize herself. Fellas, be wise, man.
Like, are you up for the journey of of life? It's a long time. We're talking about I'm
Exactly, dude. Now you're retired. You are no longer in the NFL. Watch. I'm just saying, bro. See, if Ciara can't use this man to get attention, he becomes useless. He becomes useless because she's trying hard to stay relevant in the industry, even though a man made her his wife. You'll have to pay attention to people's energies, bro. If you make a woman your wife and she's still out here trying to get in the industry, she's out here trying to make collabs and shit, bro, her heart still lies in the streets. That's a fact.
37 years old. She's 27.
Okay.
Listen, let's just keep it real. I am a cute yeah.
Yeah, and so like when you think about that, like I think that like and so
let's just keep it real. I am a cute yeah.
Yeah,
Bro, it's crazy, man. These women will tell you all exactly who they are, bro. It's crazy.
And so like when you think about that, like I think that like life goes through its, like I said earlier, it goes through its journeys, and I think the most significant piece to it all is that you being able to lift the other person up. When I'm on my low, she lifts me up. When she's at her low, I lift her up, and vice versa. And hopefully, we're at our all-time highs all the time. But that's just not life. So, like, how do we continue to do that all the time? And so, I think also too, like the purpose of responsibility. I think God's given us so much in terms of who C is in the world, and the music world, and me in sports, this and that. But to do it together, I think being two young Black boy and girl from Richmond, Virginia, from Atlanta, Georgia. I mean, think about it all, like how our worlds collided.
Buddy, this is not a love story, buddy. Knock it off. This is not a love story, buddy. Your time is up. You're retired. Ciara still wants to be in the industry at 40 plus. Understand that, buddy. So all this love story shit that you trying to kick, that shit is irrelevant when it comes to a industry woman. And it's sad, man, because he doesn't even know his time is up. Bro, you're done. You're retired. You think she want to be at home with you retired? Bro, she want to be in the mix.
In such a way. And I think when those worlds collide, there's an amazing responsibility and joy to that. And I think that's the part that you're always, learning and growing and fighting for and doing. And I think that's the piece that makes it unique in itself.
you guys carry it with so much grace. It's very much king and queen, and it's a beautiful thing to see. When you had the video recently taking Future to look at the school,
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
was
we
cool. That was
all, the
so much
whole
fun.
internet, we was just going up because just to see that vibe and just to see so young, so early, I started thinking to myself, when the hell Future went to college? I was like, you know what I mean? But it's like we
You better
started.
be 12.
You know what I mean? Like,
Better be
that's
12.
crazy. 12 years old and already creating these experiences. But there's another side to it, right? You guys are public figures. You already get enough, being a quarterback and, I mean, one of the best.
Listen, I get a lot of love. I get
You get a lot of love, you get a lot of
It's
love, a
just
lot of
part of
hate.
it,
You
yeah.
too, I mean, you've been in the game since you was a teenager. You get a lot of love. You get a lot, there's a lot to deal with on your own.
Yeah.
Now you put I mean, there's nothing more intimate than you and the love of your life on Front Street together, and having to deal with not just your separate, public stuff, but whatever people got to say about your love. How do you have the stamina to withstand that and still also, like I said, be willing to put yourselves out there and say, "This, we want to represent love."
You can't
That's
pay
a lot.
these folks no mind. You can't give, like, I mean, I think you have to know if you're gonna be in the public, like, it's gonna come with, like, the ebbs and flows. It's gonna come with, it's not gonna all be positive and perfect, right? So I think when you understand that, I think that just helps you to set the floor, to have, it just helps you to do that. So I think we live life for each other. We live life for God and for Jesus, first and foremost. And we live life for each other. And I think that so long as we're doing that, because we're human just like everybody else, right?
sure.
Trying to find our way. No, we're not perfect, but, we're doing our best. And so I think that's the most important thing of all. This world is so mad right now.
It's so
People have so
crazy.
many opinions. People have so many things to say about someone else's life. It's like for me, it's like I just want to focus on my life and my love and what we're building and with our family and our kids and seeing them grow. I want to have like the best peace in my mind possible. So I think, with focusing on that, it allows you not to like think too much into everything that someone has to say or really care about what someone has to say, right? Because I think the greatest thing, like, you said, like, they may love you and they hate you, but the greater you're great, the more they hate. So, the more they talk about you, lets you know that there's some importance to,
Absolutely.
To why they want to talk about it. So you can't pay that.
Ciara, the only reason why people are talking about you is because you stay popping up just cause. It's not like she got any hot songs out. She ain't got no hits out. All she's doing is using Buddy over here to make appearances. When was the last time you heard a song from Ciara on the radio? Seriously. But she's preying on a sucker to stay relevant, bro. Look, man. This shit right here is sad, bro. It really is, because think about this, fellas. You saving a woman and the name of her son is Future. She give her son the name of her baby father. So pretty much what I'm trying to say is, even though she's not with Future, Future is with her every day. That man's name is being called in her household every day, even though she's married to another man. So y'all with a woman and you gotta hear her ex-boyfriend name every day. It's crazy, bro. Fellas, be wise out here, man. But like I always tell you guys, birds are prone to making bad decisions. I'm telling you, this shit is going